Happiness cannot wait. Do you think happiness will come when you get promoted, buy a house, or retire? Don't wait anymore. Happiness is not at the end of the road. It starts right now with what you choose to do today. Life doesn't have a reset button. This is your only chance. Are you ready for change? Let's learn how to embrace happiness right in the present. Have you ever thought about which day of the week is the deadliest for heart attacks? I'll give you a moment to guess. Go ahead. It's Monday. Now, want to take a stab at the exact time? It's between 8 o'clock and 9 a.m. Do you know what else happens at that time? People are preparing to head out to jobs they can't stand. Funny how that lines up, isn't it? Or is it? Maybe it's not such a coincidence after all. Let's take a step back and think about this for a moment. Imagine the average lifespan laid out in front of you. Most of us, if we're fortunate, will live to see about 80 years. Out of those 80 years, we start working at around 18 and keep grinding until retirement, which typically happens at 67. Do you see the pattern? For better or worse, most of your life will be spent working. Here's the question. Why on earth would you choose to spend that much time being unhappy? Let me tell you about my friend Jay. He's the perfect example of this. Jay used to say, "Once I finish school, I'll be happy." So he worked hard, graduated, and waited for that promised happiness to show up. But it didn't. Then he told himself, "When I land my first job, I'll finally be happy." He got the job, but happiness didn't arrive with the paycheck. Not giving up, he thought. "When I get married, settle down, and start a family, that's when I'll be happy." So he tied the knot, bought a house, and became a dad to 2 wonderful kids. But even then, happiness still eluded him. So Jay changed his plan again. He told himself, "When the kids grow up and move out, and I retire, that's when I'll finally find happiness." The kids left home. Jay retired, and still there was no happiness. Eventually, Jay started going to church almost daily. When I asked him why he was going so often, his response was heartbreaking. "Because when I die, then I'll be happy." Jay's story is tragic, but it's not unique. In fact, his initials, J-A-Y, could stand for just about everybody. How many of us live like Jay, constantly waiting for the next milestone, thinking it will bring the happiness we crave? We chase and chase, only to find that the finish line keeps moving further away. Here's the thing. It's not entirely our fault. We've been sold a lie. Society has conditioned us to believe that we should stay stuck in unfulfilling jobs, keep grinding away, and sacrifice our joy for the promise of someday. We've been tricked into becoming what I call "and then people." You know the type, the ones who say, "And then I'll be happy when I finish this project, and then when I get the promotion, and then when I buy the house, and then..." But the truth is that "and then" moment never comes. And the saddest part? We waste so much of our precious time chasing it. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to live as "and then people." Happiness isn't something you find at the end of the road. It's something you choose to cultivate right now in this very moment. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. So how do you do it? How do you break free from this cycle? There are 2 paths you can take. The first is to find work that genuinely excites you, something you're passionate about. The second, if changing jobs isn't an option right now, is to bring more love, joy, and meaning into the work you already do. Both paths require a mindset shift, but the reward is worth it. Because here's the truth. Life is not a video game. There are no extra lives, no restart button. When it's over, it's over. There's no going back to redo the parts you wish you had done differently. But there is one cheat code, and it's this: take control. Stop buying into the lies that society has fed you. Reject the idea that overworking is a badge of honor or that being stressed out is some kind of status symbol. And while we're at it, let's debunk the biggest myth of all work-life balance. Think about it for a second. Even if you manage to win the rat race, what's the prize? Sure, you might earn a lot of money. Maybe people will admire you. You could even get a shiny trophy for all your hard work. But at the end of the day, you're still just a rat running on the same wheel, going nowhere meaningful. It's time to wake up. Stop letting your life pass you by. The clock is ticking, and every moment you spend waiting for happiness is a moment you'll never get back. You deserve more than just survival. You deserve to thrive. It's not about chasing some future version of yourself or reaching some imaginary finish line. It's about realizing that the power to be happy, to live fully, to feel fulfilled, is already within you. And it starts today. Not when you finish school or get the job or retire. Right now. Because this moment, this very second, is your life. Don't waste it waiting for someday. Make today the day you take control. Make today the day you start living. Have you ever paused to think about how odd the term work-life balance really is? Doesn't it sound backward? Shouldn't life come first? After all, when your life is thriving, your work naturally improves. But somehow, we've been conditioned to believe that work must come first, squeezing life into the cracks wherever it can fit. It's no wonder so many people feel stuck in cycles of stress and unhappiness. Harvard professor Sean Akers' groundbreaking research sheds light on why this thinking is flawed. He introduced the concept of the happiness advantage, and his findings are mind-blowing. According to his studies, 75% of career success isn't about how smart or talented you are, it's about how happy you are. Think about that for a second. Your happiness is a stronger predictor of success than your skills or intelligence. That alone should make you rethink how you prioritize your time and energy. But it doesn't stop there. Akers' research found that when you're happy, your brain works better, your intelligence increases, your creativity flows, and your productivity skyrockets. And here's the bonus. Happier people tend to earn more money. Happiness isn't just a feel-good idea. It's a practical tool for success. Yet, for some reason, we've been taught to put happiness on the back burner, treating it as a reward rather than a foundation. And there's more. Happiness doesn't just improve your career, it can actually make you live longer. Studies show that optimists tend to outlive pessimists. Imagine stretching your life's timeline, adding more years filled with laughter, joy, and purpose. Isn't that worth prioritizing? It's not just about quantity, though, it's about quality. Those extra years should be spent thriving, not just surviving. So why do so many people fail to prioritize happiness? It's because they're trapped in a routine that drains them. Think about it. Most people wake up, push through jobs they don't enjoy, and count the hours until the weekend. They're not living, they're enduring. It's like being in a weekdays, sleepwalking through life and hoping the weekend will somehow make up for the monotony of Monday through Friday. But here's the harsh truth. Even if you win at this system, get a promotion, earn a big paycheck, or land a prestigious title, what's the point if it leaves you burned out and empty? A bigger bank account won't replace the years you've lost to stress and unhappiness. True success isn't about what you have. It's about how you feel. There's a reason heart attacks happen most often on Mondays. It's not random. I believe it's because so many people's hearts can't handle the disconnect between the lives they want to live and the work they're stuck doing. Their bodies are literally crying out for change. They're trapped in jobs that don't fulfill them, surrounded by stress, monotony, and a sense of being stuck. Society plays a big role in this. It glorifies overworking, making stress seem like a status symbol. We've been taught to believe that being busy equals being important. But let's be honest. What's the point of being important if it costs you your health, your happiness, and your peace of mind? The lies we've been sold about success are keeping us stuck in a cycle of exhaustion. Here's the truth. Happiness is a choice. But let me be real, it's not an easy one. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. Choosing happiness means confronting hard truths. It means breaking free from habits, beliefs, and routines that no longer serve you. It takes effort, courage, and a willingness to change. But while it's not easy, it's absolutely worth it. The first step is to look inward. Ask yourself some tough questions. Are you doing work that fulfills you? Are you living a life that aligns with your values? Or are you just surviving, waiting for someday to bring you happiness? Because here's the thing, someday is an illusion. There's a powerful quote by Buddha. The problem is, you think you have time. We tell ourselves, I'll fix it later, or I'll be happy someday. But every moment spent unhappy is a moment you'll never get back. Time is ticking, and the longer you wait, the harder it gets. What can you do? Start by rejecting the idea that happiness has to wait for some future milestone. Stop being an and then person, the kind who says, when I get promoted, then I'll be happy, or when I retire, then I'll finally enjoy life. Happiness doesn't come later, starts now, and it's up to you to create it. Maybe that means finding work that excites you, something that aligns with your passions and values. Or maybe it means shifting your perspective about the work you already have, bringing more joy and purpose into it. Either way, it's a choice you have to make. And while it takes effort, every small step you take toward happiness is worth it. When you prioritize happiness, the effects ripple out into every part of your life. Your relationships improve. Your energy inspires those around you. Even your work gets better because you're coming from a place of joy instead of stress. And those ripples don't stop with you, they spread. Imagine a world where people chose happiness over exhaustion, where workplaces were built on inspiration instead of burnout. It's not just a dream. It's something we can create together. But it starts with you. Life isn't a video game. There are no extra lives, no resets. This is your one chance. And while that might sound intimidating, it's also empowering. You have the power to rewrite your story. You can stop waiting for happiness to find you and start creating it. The clock is ticking. What will you do with the time you have left? Happiness is not a distant destination. It's right in your hands, in the choices you make every day. Don't wait any longer, because time does not stand still, and every passing moment is an opportunity to live more fully. I know starting a journey of change is not easy, but small steps will lead to big changes. Stop and ask yourself, what do you want for your life? Are you ready to embrace happiness? If you find these shares useful, please click the subscribe button to the channel so you don't miss out on other valuable lessons. Please join us to learn, inspire, and create a more meaningful life together. Thank you for listening, and best wishes on your journey.